Hey everyone, I'm Audrey Miller and welcome to my YouTube channel called Living in Hayward, Wisconsin, where we talk about all things real estate related and also just about living in Hayward. Excuse the little more casual look today. I am out and about on Lac Courte Oreilles and I'm going to be giving you a tour of the Victory Heights area. And this is one of the first settlements that was used for recreational purposes, mostly by people from Illinois. Started settling this community back in the 1920s or 1930s. There's actually a whole history book about this. If you would like to buy it, I think it's called Tales of the Past, I believe, but it's all about the history of Lac Courte Oreilles. So join me today as we do a tour of Victory Heights. If you're not familiar, you'll learn a little bit. If you are familiar, maybe you have a comment or a story to share, and I'm always happy to have you with me. Again, Audrey Miller, broker owner of Northwest Wisconsin Realty Team based right out of Hayward, and I would love to hear from you sometime if you're looking to buy, sell, or just looking for extra information or pick my brain about the Hayward area. Thank you and enjoy. So here's the entrance into Victory Heights. Nice little sign here, and I'm going to show you. This is a map of Lac Courte Oreilles Lake. So this little piece of land right in here is Victory Heights. So we're at the entrance here, and we're going to give you a little tour of the Victory Heights community. It's one of the oldest communities on Lake Lac Courte Oreilles, and this is the road going in. It's just a paved 2-lane road going into the Victory Heights community. And I'll show you a little bit more. So as we're coming into Victory Heights here, this is the part that is commonly referred to as the Flats, or sometimes called the Gold Coast, because this area is the only part of Victory Heights that actually has level elevation and some sandy beach shore frontage, as compared to the rest of Victory Heights. When you start to go up around the Victory Heights Circle Road, it becomes higher elevation, usually medium to high elevation within Victory Heights. But the Flats is probably the most desirable frontage in Victory Heights in a lot of ways because of the lower elevation, and actually is some of the most desirable frontage on this lake due to the level elevation, which is not too common on Lake Lac Courte Oreilles. And then this is a really interesting portion because we're still in the entrance into Victory Heights. We have the Flats on the right hand side, and then we have the lake on this side, and both sides are Lac Courte Oreilles. But on this side is Muskie Bay, which is kind of at the far end of the lake, and this side of the road is not buildable until you get around the corner because it's just this narrow strip of land. So all the homes are on the right hand side, but we do have water on both sides here. Let's see a little bit more of Muskie Bay. Muskie Bay is one of the only places on Lac Courte Oreilles, and certainly the only place in Victory Heights, that does have some marshy frontage. You can see this, see that light colored grass? That is actually marsh grass. So some of these properties have to have boardwalks. Frontage tends to be a little more mucky in here, whereas the rest of Lac Courte Oreilles is nice, clear, sandy gravel frontage. So now we've climbed a little bit in elevation, and we're going around what would be the right side of the circle if you stayed to the right at the split, or you could say more the east side of Victory Heights. And I decided to do this video during the springtime, even though it will be much prettier in a little bit when the leaves come out. But this is a time where you can actually see into the properties a little bit more. Victory Heights has so much history, and there's actually a whole book written about this area of Lac Courte Oreilles and the early Native American inhabitants. This Wismo Club is one of the first places that was bought and developed by a group of people from Illinois, and a lot of the early residents of this area came from Illinois. Now a lot of our buyers are from the Twin Cities, but there's still a lot of family homes that have been passed down from generation to generation within Victory Heights. It's a very neighborly community where everyone knows everyone because a lot of people have been here for a very long time. and have a lot of meaningful history in this area. Now there's also what we would call the interior of Victory Heights. These homes in the interior and these lots do not have lake frontage, but they are still quite valuable pieces of land because they have proximity to the lake and the boat landing that is within Victory Heights. And they also are in high demand because those people who may have properties on the lake also want to have some off-water property, maybe to build a cabin for family or friends, or to just be able to build an outbuilding on one of those lots. I think this is a really cool structure right here. This is the Catholic Church. It's been here for many, many years within Victory Heights. It's called Our Lady of the Lake. There are still services held here every Sunday. There's a priest that comes and does the service for the residents of Victory Heights or anyone else who wants to visit, but it's a real piece of history at this Catholic church in Victory Heights. And here is the boat launch that is located within Victory Heights. It's one of the few boat launches that are on Lac Courte Oreilles that are open to the public. So you can come here with a boat at any time and launch your boat, as these two gentlemen are doing. I'm gonna walk down and show you the water clarity and all that as well. But if you remember, Lac Courte Oreilles is a 5,200 acre lake, or just under 5,200 acre lake. It is one of the, what I would call tier 1 lakes in the Hayward area. It has great water clarity and it is a highly desirable lake. Lots of people want to be on this lake because of its size, water clarity, great fishing, great history. It's a full recreational lake as well, which is always nice to have. One of the dynamics that is starting to happen within the Victory Heights community is that some of these older cabins that were small and maybe built in the 60s or 70s are starting to get replaced by large homes that are being built when people purchase the property essentially for the lot itself, and they might pay, you know, $500,000 or $600,000 for the lot with the old cabin on it. And then they're simply tearing that down and rebuilding it and doing something much bigger and nicer. And I know this tends to happen sometimes on these premier lakes. It's a little bit sad, I guess, or, you know, maybe a sign of progress. You can look at it either way, but that is a dynamic that is starting to happen within the Victory Heights community these days. So now this listing, or this home, is a listing that I have in Victory Heights currently. It's on the market as of May of 2025. And this is one of the original cabins within Victory Heights. It's a 4-bed, 1-bathroom cabin. It's been added on to a bit over the years. The kitchen is in the back of the house here. You can see the lake out through there. And it's around 1,500 square feet, but it is an older cabin. And this is one that, you know, maybe a starter home on Lac Courte Oreilles, or something that somebody may choose to tear down and build something, you know, nicer, newer on this lot. As you can see, it's pretty picturesque here. If I'm quiet, you can hear the birds, but you can also hear somebody's leaf blower in the background. As far as price points on Lac Courte Oreilles, you've probably heard me talk before about the different tiers of lakes, and you've heard me talk about price points. If you haven't, you can find some of those videos on my YouTube channel. But essentially, just a vacant lot on this lake goes for anywhere from $600,000 to $800,000, and that's a lot with no improvements just to get the land on this lake. That's kind of about where the prices are these days. And then if you're looking for something that is already finished, a starter price would be probably this property at $700,000. You wouldn't find much for less than that if it had any kind of decent frontage or features that were worth anything. And it can go up to around $2 million on the higher end. A lot of the properties, I would say the average might be 1.2 to 1.5 for a 2,500 to 3,500 square foot home. But I'll walk down here for you and you can see how beautiful the frontage is and see a good portion of the lake from this location. So we are more on the southwest part of the lake at this property. The lake is 7 miles long, so you're only seeing probably a mile or so of it here. it continues out in that direction past the Victory Heights settlement and then over towards the other end of the lake, which is kind of near Highway E and Highway K. There are 2 bars and restaurants on this lake. One of them is just across the lake shore here, and it's called Angler's Haven. And the other one is down on the far other end, and that one's called Trails End Resort, and they've got a beautiful beach and a campground there, a very nice restaurant with outdoor seating. But take a look at this, and this is what you can expect to find on Lac Courte Oreilles in terms of water clarity. It's just almost unparalleled in the area. There's other lakes that are tier 1 lakes, some smaller lakes that are similar, but it is just this crystal clear water, just absolutely beautiful. And there's a point right out here, you can't see it, but it's called Wismo Point, just at the end of Victory Heights here, by the Wismo Club, where all the boats tie up in the summertime and people come and share drinks and have music and wade in the water because it's this huge sandbar that goes out into the lake. Another reason why I find this lake to be really appealing is not only is it one of the largest in our area, but it also has a lot of little nooks and crannies and bays. So it's got more character in terms of the shape of the lake and is a little more interesting to boat, I guess, especially if what you like to do is going pontooning and just cruising around. It definitely has the advantages in that way compared to some of the lakes that are a little bit more round or have less character than Lac Courte Oreilles does. So here we have the Victory Heights Circle Road, and on your right hand side will be all the lake lots and lake properties, and on your left hand side will be the interior lots of Victory Heights. You know, back in the day they had logged this very heavily. That's been a long time ago, and these days there's a very nice mix of hardwoods and softwoods, a lot of really great views. These are some of the interior lots within Victory Heights. You can see there's still some connecting roads in here that are just dirt roads. Most of Victory Heights is paved, the circle is paved, but some of these side roads are still dirt, which is kind of nice. On the interior here, a lot of these are not built up, so it actually feels really private back in here off of the water. As you know, on the water, lots are typically 100, maybe 120 feet wide, and so privacy in Lakefront is a little hard to find, but the benefits far outweigh the lack of privacy, in my opinion, to be on one of the premier lakes in the area. And if you've never been to Lac Courte Oreilles or never been to Victory Heights, come and take a drive through, see it for yourself. It's a pretty special place. And if you kind of don't know much about the lake and you want to spend a week here, one of the things a lot of people do is get a short-term rental for the week, check it out and see if it's something that you might want to purchase property on in the future, if it's something that appeals to you. This area is about 2.5, maybe 2 3/4 hours from the Twin Cities. It's about, 5 hours from southern Wisconsin, 6 hours from the Chicago area, and only about an hour and a half from the Eau Claire area. So it's pretty centrally located near the town of Stone Lake and not too far of a drive for a weekend cabin, or full-time residence would be great as well. I'll give you one last look as we head out today, going back out the same way we came in to the Victory Heights area. And there is beautiful Lac Courte Oreilles. Hope you enjoyed the tour, and maybe you have a story to share from Victory Heights. There's lots of people who have lots of history in this area, or maybe you have a comment or a question about the area. Feel free to get a hold of me anytime. I'd love to help you, whether you're interested in buying or selling or just looking for some extra area information. Thanks for joining today.